welcome to math class. So all last week we were adding and subtracting fractions, making mixed numbers to improper fractions. But this week we are working on multiplying fractions. Now, don't get scared because one, there's something very important that we need to know. That you do not need a common denominator to multiply fractions. How cool is that? That's one less step that you have to do when it comes to fractions. So I'm gonna put an example on the board. We're gonna work through a problem together, and then we're gonna get the hang of it, okay? So let's look at our first example. And we're gonna go step by step so you can get a hold of it. So let's do 2/4 times 1/3. And you want to know the cool thing about multiplying fractions is you just multiply across. So what we're going to do is we're first going to multiply our numerators together. So first step, multiply the numerators together. So 2 times 1, 2. Our next step is to multiply the denominators together. And remember, we're just multiplying straight across. That's all we're doing. And we know that 4 times 3 is 12. Now, just a reminder for you guys, your answer has to be simplified. It has to be reduced to the smallest fraction that it can be. So I look at 2/12 and I know I can simplify. I can divide each number by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And that's our answer. So, our first step is multiplying the numerators straight across. Second step is to multiply the denominators straight across. And then, once we get our answer, our third step, and if we need to have it, is to simplify or reduce our fraction, our answer. So, let's take a look at another example. And guys, if you want to follow along while you're watching this video, we are on 10.2, which is page 246. And I'm also using some of those problems from the book. So if you want to take a look, you can. So let's look at 3/4 times 5/7. So, what's our first step? Multiply the numerators together, straight across. Numerators are 3 times 5, 15. Second step, we multiply the denominators straight across. 4 times 7 is 28. Now, this example, this fraction, it can't get simplified. It can't get reduced. So, guess what? This is our answer. So as we look at these two problems, one, the very cool thing and the very important thing that we need to know when we multiply fractions is that they do not need a common denominator. So you don't have to worry about finding the common denominator. How cool is that? But we have 3 steps. First, multiply the numerators across. Multiply numerators. 2, multiply the denominators. And 3, simplify when needed, or reduce. So those are our 3 steps when it comes to multiplying fractions. Much simpler than adding and subtracting fractions. So I'll give you a second if you're writing notes to get this down, and then I'm going to do one more problem to where we may have to change the answer to a mixed number, because an improper fraction isn't what we're looking for. We're looking for the most reduced. So when we have an improper fraction, we need to reduce it to a mixed number. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And remember, if you didn't catch it, you can always rewind it, pause it, and write it or look back at it again. Okay, so let's look at our very last example that we have. I'll keep the steps on the side so you guys can remember. So for our last example, let's do half times, 9/4. So our first step is multiply the numerators. So I'm going to multiply straight across. 9 times 1, or 1 times 9, 9. And then we have 2 times 4, which is 8. Now remember, an improper fraction is when the top number, that numerator, is bigger than the denominator. So right here, as you can see, it is an improper fraction. So we need to change this to a mixed number. This is our step 3. We're reducing it. We're simplifying it. So if you guys can remember, how do we do that? We divide, right? And remember that song that we learned way back? The numerator becomes the dividend. That's what we're gonna do again, just like we've been practicing. So the numerator becomes the dividend. 8 divided by 9. How many times can 8 go into 9? 1. 1 times 8 is 8. And then we subtract, just like our division that we've been doing. And I know you guys know how to do it. So 9 subtracted by 8 is 1. Remember, a remainder becomes our new numerator. So I'm going to carry it up here. And our denominator stays the same. So that is our new reduced and simplified answer. So if any of your answers become an improper fraction, like this one, you need to change it to a mixed number. We've been doing it for weeks, and I know you can do it. I want you guys to change those improper fractions to a mixed number, okay? I know you guys can do it. Make sure you check Edmodo for your assignment. If you need to rewatch the video, rewind it, pause it, whatever you need to do. If you have any questions, make sure you can Zoom me and message me or anything that you need to do. All right, guys, I'll see you later.